Hello everyone, and welcome to my revisit of an old lesson from an old channel. This one's for Petrol and Chlorine, and it's actually my favorite song off of Freak Show, and the reason why I named my channel the name that it is. So anyway, we'll get started by I'll tell you what the tuning is. The tuning is open C, but it's not the same open C that an artist like Devin Townsend would use, where it would be like CGCEGC. This open C tuning, it's all the same notes, but they're rearranged a little different. So you have a low C, you have a G, another C, then you have the E here. So that'll have to be tuned quite a bit down. You have a G here, which will also have to be tuned down a fair amount. And C on the top. So C, G, C, E, G, C. So everything will have to be tuned down to get to those notes. So, and the other thing I suppose I should mention is that if you're using fairly light strings on your acoustic, you might want to bump up gauges for this song, just for the stability. Anyway, let's get started with the verse riff. Okay, so the verse riff is pretty easy once you, well, the whole song actually is pretty easy once you get used to the tuning. So it'll just be a simple strumming pattern. You're going to go and you're going to strum pretty much all the strings. The only thing you need to do is go to the B string up here. You're going to go from 5 to 4 and then slide up to 7 and back to 5. So I'll show you how you go about that. So you play that pattern twice, and then you're going to play this chord, which will be 7th fret on the D and G strings, 6th fret on the B string, and 5th fret on the high E, like so. And try to mute the bottom 2 strings, maybe with your thumb or your palm, because you just want those 4 notes to ring out. So it'll be... So you're going to play them in the same pattern as the verse, or as the rest of the verse. And then you're going to go back to... You're going to go full open for a couple of bars, and then you're going to bar the 1st fret all the way up. And then back to the B string thing. And then you're going to repeat that. So that's pretty much it for the verse riff. The only part I left out is the sitar part, so we'll do that next. Okay, so the first verse, the sitar part will be played one way, and then the second verse it'll be played again slightly different. So the first time it will sound, it'll all be on the high E string. So you'll go 10 and 12, 10 and 9, 10 and 9 again, 7 and 9, 7 and 5, 7, 5, hammer on to 7 and back, 4, 5, 4, and then 0 and 1. So I'll play that all the way through so you get a sense of exactly how it is. So that's the first verse, sitar part, and then the second verse, it will go like so. You're going to go start on 12 this time, 12 to 14, 12 to 10, 12 to 10 again, 9, 10, 9, 7, 9, 7 again, 5, 7, 5 open, and ends on 1 again. So let me play that all the way through so you get a sense of that as a complete line. Okay. Now, after the second sitar part and the end of the second verse, you'll get to a part that it just sounds like this. Now, in the recording, I think it's played different, but with all the instrumentation and stuff, it sounds probably better like this than it does playing it the way I showed you in the old video. Anyway, all that is going to be like 1-finger power chords on the bottom 2 or 3 strings, and it will go open, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12. So once again, slowly. So, and that begins the bridge part, which we'll get into next. So once again, the way I'm going to show you now is probably considerably easier than the way I showed you in the old video. It's probably not quite correct, but like I said, because of the instrumentation of the song, if you're just playing it by yourself, it will probably sound a lot better this way than it will the way it was played on the recording, I guess. So, let's get into the bridge. So it'll start with 2 opens, or 3 opens. And then 2 open to 3, open to 2, then you're going to go to 8, 3, slide down to 2, and then 5, 3, 5, 3, and then back to open. So all together, that'll sound like this. So the next part is going to be an interlude, and there's actually 2 parts for this. So I will show you the rhythm part first. So essentially what's going on here is that the rhythm is going to be playing the melody on the bottom strings. It won't be the same melody, but it'll be similar. So let's just get into it. You'll go 2 opens, and this is all going to be power chords on the bottom 3 strings again. So 2 opens, and then 4, 5, 4. 7, 5-4, 5-4-0. And then open twice again, 4-5-4. Seven, 5, open. So I'll play that again all the way through. So while that's going on, the second guitar will be up at the high E string again, except you're going to go 7, 9, 7, 10, 9, 7, 9, 7, and open. And then 7, 9, 7, 10, 9, 12. So all together. Okay, now if you only have the one guitarist, you can just strum the open strings while you play the melody on the high strings, and it will sound pretty good. Like that. So if you're just doing it by yourself, that might be a better way of planning it out. Anyway, after that, you'll go back to the verse riff again. Just for like that one cycle. And then from there we go into another interlude, which we'll get into next. Okay, so this interlude is back to the low strings again, and it's going to go as follows. You're going to go open 7, 6, 5, open 2, 3, 8, 10, 3, 3, 3. So all together. So that cycles through 4 times, I think. Anyway, when we get into the chorus, it'll just be a quick bar before it goes back into a different pattern. So it'll sound, well, it'll just be open and then 3, 2, and open again in this pattern. So you'll just play that once, and then you'll go back into this pattern. And then you'll play that pattern twice and back into that gets played 4 times. So after the chorus is the outro, and we'll get to that next. Okay, so for the outro there will be a rhythm and a melody. So I'll show you the parts first, and then I'll try to suggest something if you're playing with just one guitar. So anyway, the rhythm guitar will be going like this. It'll be open and then 2, 3, 2, and 5. So it'll be wait, it'll go of that pattern, the melody on top of that will be going on the high E string, 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, open, and then there'll be a quick little walk down. On the B string you'll go 2, 3, 2 and open, really quick like this. So use hammer-ons and pull-offs, and then do the exact same thing on the G string. So altogether it would sound like and then on the last repeat, of course, it just gets slower, so you'll hear. And that will end the song. Now, if you're just playing it by yourself, it'll just be like the melody before, where you just kind of strum the open strings while you're playing it. Only this one's a little bit more difficult, so you just kind of have to practice it. And yeah, see what I mean? So anyway, you get the idea. That part's a lot more tricky to do by yourself, but it is possible. Anyway, that's it for Petrol and Chlorine. I hope this lesson was better than the other one. I certainly think it's an easier and better sounding way to play it than the way I did before, and hopefully the lesson's less confusing. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.